evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to St. Petersburg 47th Annual Beautification Awards. It gives me great pride and pleasure to welcome all the winners and all our mayor, the council people, everybody here, because this is the longest running beautification awards program in the country. So we have many, many things to be proud of as well, so long your work and your recognition. City Beautification Commission was formed in 1961. According to some past members like Jamie Bennett, they used to meet in a break room in the hospital. It was him and some garden club ladies. So we've evolved from all this time, and they had punch and cake, I believe. So we've been involved with this 47 years. We're an adjunct commission. We're comprised of 15 nonpartisan volunteers. We're appointed by the mayor and approved by city council. We have a monthly meeting, usually the second Monday of every month, and it's open to the public. And our mission is to enhance and safeguard the beauty of the natural resources and city landscapes, thereby enriching the quality of life in our community. Part of what we do on the commission is we have the brick program down at the Arboretum. It's a great way to memorialize, remember, or just spend a nice $50, which goes back into the Arboretum, which happens to be a pet project of mine. And at $50 is still the best deal in town, and there's miles and miles of walkways, so we hope that that will continue to generate funds way, way into the future. We have the gift tree program, where you can donate money and have a tree planted in various parks around the city, again, for yourself in memory or a birthday, whatever reason you'd like. And of course, what you're here for is the annual awards. 47 years and still going strong. Wait till we get to 50, right? That'll be a really big blowout. Can we have that at the Benoit? And of course, the Gizella Kopsick Palm Arboretum goes unsaid. Established back in, I believe, late 60s, 70s. It was a miniature golf course, which was owned by the city, but it had been shut down because there was no funds to maintain it. So Elva Rouse, who was a huge, huge civic volunteer, member of the garden club, was a good friend of Gizella Kopsick. And she either convinced or coerced Ms. Kopsick to make a generous donation of stock to form the Palm Arboretum. At this point, I'm going to call up Chris Claus to present the Community Waterwise Award.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. I'm pleased to present the Community Waterwise Award for the City of St. Petersburg. The Waterwise Award for St. Petersburg is sponsored by St. Petersburg, the Florida Friendly Landscaping Program, and Tampa Bay Water. It recognizes property owners who have created and continue to maintain attractive, functional landscapes that are water conserving. Today, I would like to recognize Craig Pathay for the Waterwise landscape he has created and continues to beautifully maintain. Over the years, the traditional turf and citrus tree landscape has been replaced by drought-tolerant native plants. Water-intensive lawn areas have been reduced by over 60%, as Craig and his family have installed wildlife-friendly plants and wildflowers. Rain barrels and porous bricks help retain rainwater on site. And native trees help shade and create habitat for wildlife and for people. All aspects of this yard create an inviting and an enriching environment. Please help me congratulate the winner of the 2013 Community Waterwise Awards. Craig, please come up and accept your award.
What I'd like to do is I'd like all the City Beautification Commission members to come up. I'm going to start with current, and we'll get a nice, great photo op with our mayor.
This is a wonderful day for us, and I wanted to take this chance to say thank you. You know, when I'm out and about and I meet people on the street for the first time, they might be new residents, they might be visitors, but routinely, over and over again, people talk about the look and feel of the city of St. Petersburg. They talk about how beautiful this city is. And it says a lot about you, and it says a lot about the staff that work for you in the city of St. Petersburg. When we're talking budgets now, and we're trying to pass a budget, and when I look back between 2007 and to the present, just the reduction in property taxes alone is $35 million, just in that one category. So when you look at what we have been able to do, and when I say we, I really mean you and an incredible staff. When I look at what we have been able to accomplish in the city of St. Petersburg, to literally do more with less, but focus on sustainability, focus on look, smell, and feel, focus on green, focus on our parks, focus on all of these things that set St. Petersburg apart. It has been a priority of City Beautiful for years and years and years. So I am here simply on behalf of all of the beneficiaries of your hard work and of your labor and of your passion to say thank you. Thank you to homeowners that take pride in their properties. And you don't do it for an award, you do it because it's beautiful. And it tends to have this ripple effect upon your community. Thank you to the staff represented by Sherry McBee tonight. Mike Jeffress is here, Susie Ahok is here, and Linda is a part of the program, so she is a rock star. But when I think about how incredible this staff is, they do it for the right reasons. I'll probably get a head nod. I'm sure paychecks are okay. Raises have been far and few between, but you know what? They do it because they're passionate about what they do and who they serve. And I can assure you, they don't serve me. I mean, they're great employees, but they do it because they serve you. And they know who they serve. And it's all about benefiting the city. You know, when I think about economic development and jobs, and people can work remotely, people can choose to live anywhere, literally. But they choose St. Petersburg because of the look and the feel and the vibrancy. And that is rooted in City Beautiful. God bless you. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you to the partners and sponsors in this, and to the award recipients. Congratulations. That's a good start. Keep going. Thank you all.
All right, at this point, I'm going to bring the judge up. We had a team of 3 judges. Tonight we have with us David Connor. The other 2 judges were Tom Levin and Jim Cleese. David?
Okay, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. I, to be honest with you, anticipated Jim and Tom, who are good friends of mine, to be here also. Unfortunately, both of them had health situations with their family that prevented them from being here. So it's your loss, it's my loss, because to be honest with you, one of the real pleasures that I have in participating in this award is spending a day with guys like that are also in the profession, and sort of comparing notes and looking at projects and getting to experience a day out of the office. And so I know we all hope that things are well with them and their families, but I want to tell you that I speak on behalf of everybody. We were really, it was a great day together. And as a great day together, I think we agreed on what the conclusions that we made. And I'd just like to say one thing. I think As a designer myself, we often submit for awards. We go through the process from the other side. Being on the judge side, this is one of the more difficult things that we do, trying to evaluate the work. And mostly, this is work not necessarily by professionals, but by individuals. It means a lot to everybody. And it's a very personal thing that we're involved with here. Landscape work, gardens, our personal space, our business, all those sort of things. What I do in my profession, which I enjoy and I love so much, is that it is very personal. And so it's a very difficult thing to go out and to speak or to evaluate somebody's work and to say that this is honoring and this one is not. So we are very, very pleased to present these projects that are before you as award winners this year, and thank you for that opportunity. Real briefly, I'm going to, since I'll tell you just briefly, you can read the eligibility criteria for the awards. I'd like to just speak to a couple of things, really. One, of course, it must be within the city limits, and that goes without saying. But I would say, in order to add on to that, one of the things, I happen to live in Tampa, and I have lived in Tampa for 26 years. I was speaking with somebody recently. One of the real pleasures is to come over to St. Petersburg and to drive streets that I typically don't drive, and to learn about communities that I have never been acquainted with. And I will tell you that having basically moving here after I graduated from college, which I did in the Midwest, so I was new to this area, I've always had a great appreciation for the city of St. Petersburg. It has a certain, as has already been said, a certain creativity, a certain flair, a certain feel that's really quite unique, and it's very friendly, it's very open, and I honestly really love this community. So it's a fun day for me, not only to be around friends, but to be around this city. Our criteria, we look for projects that speak to us as professionals, projects that look like they're organized. I think one of the disadvantages of this award, maybe a disadvantage, maybe not, is that when we're submitting as professionals for design awards, oftentimes we will take photographs of our projects, and we are able to edit those photographs, and we are able to pick the absolute best picture, and we present the absolute best way to present that project. You don't have that opportunity. We show up when you don't know it, and we walk on your property, and if you didn't mow that day, you're probably thinking, rats. It was the wrong day for them to show up. And I apologize for that. I wish I could say that doesn't affect our judging. It does. I mean, there's no way to avoid that it doesn't. But we try to look beyond that. We are familiar with the challenges of maintenance, and we are familiar with the challenges of just repetitive effort that it takes. And we try to look deep into what is going on with this particular project. Why is it significant? Why is it important? What about this particular place, this home, this business, and so forth, contributes to the local community, to the neighborhood? What about it could be significant? And so we really had those sorts of conversations and dialogue, and so I think what you're going to see is that that is really what we're trying to reflect. I think of the landscape architectural design, which as a landscape architect, I think that's a little bit, maybe a little presumptuous. We're landscape architects. We work on this every day, and many of these projects have probably never had a landscape architect involved with them, and that's not bad. But when we speak about the landscape architectural design, we're talking about the ability of that place to contribute to a sense of place, to contribute to the neighborhood, to speak to those around it, and to contribute both on a daily basis, and then also something that will mature and age over time. So with all of that backlogged, I'll move on to our first award. Our first award is a business property. I will tell you, this is TriplePoint Design Build. It is a property that oftentimes you look at a business and you would say, what is it that speaks about this particular business? Why is it award winning? This project, we really, it's a very simple project. It has a very nice landscape. It has a very simple appearance, but it really fits into the community very nicely. It has a residential scale in a residential neighborhood. It's in a transitional sort of zone right between a residential community and a commercial community. And it really addresses that well. As you can see, it looks like a home. The landscape was well maintained, and we felt like it was very honoring of an award. So I'm going to find Neil Fisk. Neil, if you would join me. The second business we'd like to recognize is the PDQ. PDQ, and I'm sorry, I think it was on 4th Street. Am I right about that? Right. PDQ has been building projects, fast and furious over the last several years, and we think that the PDQ project really does a great job. They've really paid attention to the quality of the landscape. They're maintaining a really nice appearance. They fit into the neighborhood. They address the business character of the community, and we'd like to recognize PDQ for their efforts and for their and encourage them to continue. So, Jim Pollard, if you would join us. The third establishment that we would like to recognize is St. Anthony Friary. It's kind of interesting. This is a little bit different project, and many of you, I don't know if you're familiar with St. Anthony Friary or not, but I think when you think about projects that address their conditions and their situation in a unique way, St. Anthony's Friary does a great job of that. It's a very simple approach. They have a nice porch out front with a green screen type planting, an arbor that creates a really wonderful seating area on the street that makes you feel separate from the street. We really enjoyed that. The courtyard spaces are not as accessible, but really well done. And so we were very pleased to visit the Friary. And if Father Joseph Hurdle would join us. Okay, the next project is a 5-year award. This, a 5-year award, we do revisit projects that have previously been awarded. We look at a variety of different types of projects. Some of them have been receiving awards as many as 40 years ago. And so it's really quite interesting to look back at projects and see how they've been maintained and whether they've continued to be maintained and respectful of the environment and the neighborhood and all of that. And this project really does that. It's a really beautiful project. It's the Fleur de Lyon apartments. It's just around the corner from the Friary. It was a really nice place to stop. And it has a beautiful courtyard space. It really bleeds out the neighborhood. The residents have this wonderful courtyard that they can look out onto, and we enjoyed being there. And so let's see here. The Dan Argo. Dan, would you join us? Probably the most difficult and challenging award that we give every year is the Home of the Year award. It's to try and distinguish one project away from the others and to say that this project is deserving of the one project of Home of the Year. When you have such beautiful projects that you're, in homes that you visit and well maintained, and they're just all quite wonderful. But this home, when we went to it, really felt like home. It felt like a great place. It did have, believe it or not, what you're looking at are photographs of the front yard. These are garden spaces that are in front of the home, separate, and the plant material that is adjacent to the street creates these really pleasant garden spaces that are next to the home that are really very nice scale. It had a wonderful sense of place. It was inviting. It was not intimidating as you would go by the home. It didn't seem as though it was walled off. I think that has a lot to do with the fact that it was plant material instead of walls or hardscape that was there. But it was a beautiful place, and so we were pleased to be there. Brent Roper. Brent, if you would join me. Brent is accepting on behalf of your grandfather, is that correct? Which is Sinclair, Mr. Sinclair. So, thank you. Well, interestingly enough, next door is the Roper residence. And if you have a chance to go to these two homes, you will see that you will be confused as we were. Is this one home? Is this two homes? How do they work together? How do we distinguish one to be more significant, to be the home of the year versus the other one? I would tell you that was, and this is probably for the Roper family. If you want an explanation, I'll tell you. It's much easier to do that when you have a corner lot. A corner lot addresses the street in a much different way, creates a much more space to work with, and really had quite significant space. But the connection between the two was really very delightful, and it was a really nice project. We enjoyed being there very much. So, Kim and Dan Roper, and then also Brent Roper, if you would join me again. I failed to mention we're in the special merit category. These are projects, there's a series of projects that receive special merit. This is our second special merit award. It's for the Marion residents. I think this residence is one that when we drove past the residence and we sort of stopped out in front and we just said, wow. If you look at a home that fits, that the landscape and the home fit together in such a unique way to really make it feel as one. This really did it. The home is obviously well established. I don't know what the dates are, but it's been there for a while. It's not something that's recently been built. It has great bones. It has great character. It's a beautiful home, but the landscape was equally beautiful. It was well maintained. It was a really nice property, and we were very pleased to award it, give it an award of special merit. So if Joel and Lisa Marion, are they here? They weren't out here earlier. I don't think they were here. Okay, so we'll make sure they get their award, or somebody. Rick will. It's an interesting photograph, isn't it? And you look at this and you think, what is this? So this is the Goforth residence. There's actually, I think, sometimes awards are given to projects that are rather simple, and this is actually a very simple approach. It's a very easily sustainable garden space. It's well established, and it's a private space. This is, again, a front yard space. The plant material that you see there to the left actually separates these two Adirondack chairs from the road, providing a nice little seating area that's adjacent to the home. There's another one on the other side of the walkway. We're standing on the main walkway up to the front of the home, and it created this sort of place where you could go and have a real quiet setting and still be part of the community, which I think is very important. That one of the things that we design is trying to encourage people to get out in front of their yard, not just behind their yard. This one really does that quite well, and it creates a beautiful space. And so we felt it was worthy. And Karen Goforth. The Stamey residence is something that we're starting to see a lot more in the design and development of residential homes. And that is the inclusion, the actual incorporation of sustainable elements, both connecting the architecture of the building with the site itself. It's something that is growing in popularity, as I'm sure everybody is very much aware of. This home actually won, I believe it was LEED Platinum certification. And there are a number of sustainable elements that are integrated into the home, including capture of rainwater and reuse in the landscape, use of impervious materials, an extensive amount of native plant material. It's a really, really interesting and beautiful project. We really enjoyed being there. They really did a great job, and it's something that we not only appreciated the opportunity to be there and to see it and to learn from what they have done, but also would love to encourage more residences to continue to take on projects like this. So I know earlier Lynn Stamey was not here. Is she here at this point? Okay, so she is not here also tonight, unfortunately, but we'll, again, make sure that she gets her award.
I have wonderful news, and actually we just found out about this news about 2 weeks ago maybe, so it is new. We haven't even gotten the press release out on it, but we thought this would be a perfect opportunity to make the announcement. And that is that the Gizella Kopsick Palm Arboretum has just received a Level 2 accreditation from the Morton Arboretum Registry. And we're like, what's that? So it's a great accomplishment. The Morton Registry, there really wasn't a organization or anyone that really did any kind of criteria for any accreditation for arboretums. And so they actually have two things. You can go onto their website, and it lists all the arboretums in the United States and actually internationally. That's one thing that they do. They kind of keep track of what's out there. But the second thing that they've done is they brought criteria together for an accreditation process that an arboretum can go through and actually become accredited. And they have different levels of accreditation. Level 1's basic, just to give you an idea, you have to have an arboretum plan. You have to have a group that oversees the arboretum. You have to have a collection with a minimum of 25 kinds of species. So you can't just have one plant. You've got to have a collection going. You have to have staff or volunteer support. You have to participate in ArbNet, which is the organization that they are a part of, and do a recognition of Arbor Day and other public dimensions. Be open to the public, people have access to it, and different programs. Education is one of the components. Those are really just kind of the basic guidelines, but to become a Level 2 accreditation, you have to do above and beyond that. You need to do a lot more on the education. You have to have a larger collection of at least 100 kinds of trees or woody plants. You need to have more outreach to the community and make sure that there's more access and information going out. So everything's on a higher level of Level 1, but you do a lot more of it. And they have a Level 3 and a Level 4. Most of the Level 3 and Level 4s are groups that you see universities, their collections or their areas. Some of the palm gardens, the large gardens have reached that level. So for us to be Level 2 is just a phenomenal accomplishment, and we're very proud of that. We're up there with Bach Gardens, everybody else. So there's 12 listed arboretums that were on their website that's here in Florida. So we are very proud to be a part of it. And I do want to recognize City Beautiful Commission for all the years. Phil, from way back when we started, the expansion to make it larger as it is. I mean, the Arboretum is a special place. I get phone calls from people internationally wanting to set up tours to go through the gardens. That's not an uncommon thing. It happens every week, but it's not like it only happens once a year either. We get calls from across different states. People know about this Arboretum and come specifically for it. A lot of people don't know it exists because it's public. There's no gates, there's no charge. Anyone can enjoy it, and it's along our beautiful waterfront parks. And because of that, a lot of people think it's just part of our parks. But it is its own little special area, and if you haven't had an opportunity and go out and view it, please do go see it, because it really is very special. And I want to recognize one person outside of everybody on City Beautiful Commission. There's so many people involved with this, that there's one person who actually researched and wrote and did all the information to make this accreditation happen, and that was Nate. And come on up, I want to give you a special award. Thank you. Nate Bowden is on the City Beautiful Commission, and he is our chair for the Palm Arboretum, so he kind of oversees that. He's the one that makes sure all of our work days happen and everything else. And one of his goals over a year ago was we want this accredited, and he worked very hard to make that happen. And again, everybody deserves this, but we just want to do a little recognition for all the hard work to make this happen.
I'm going to talk about something that's near and dear to my heart. That's our downtown waterfront park system. I see some old friends there. We're having our 50th class reunion this year, and I see 3 classmates of mine right here. I'm 4th generation pioneer family. My son is the 5th generation pioneer family here in St. Petersburg. We love this place. And I think what makes St. Petersburg is all of you, first of all. But secondly, I think you can agree with me that our waterfront parks are probably our greatest asset in the city. About 10 years ago, we began cutting back, because of taxes and so forth and expenses, on the budget that was available to the park system. And miraculously, the park system is maintaining all of the parks in St. Petersburg on 1/3 of what they were 10 years ago. Now that is miraculous. There's more grass. The grass still has to be cut. Everything has to be done. So they are working literally miracles. I have started a foundation called the Downtown Waterfront Parks Foundation, and we have a 501(c), and we're off and running. And we have an advisory board and a board of directors of people who are, one criteria is they have to be passionate about our parks, and that's the primary reason for getting on our board. And it is modeled after the Pioneer Park Foundation, which, if you know where Pioneer Park is, it's right in front of Bayfront Center. And that has been a cooperation of the foundation and the city for a number of years now, 20-some years. And it's an example of what can be done with the foundation and keeping a park looking like it should. We have a gem there. We need to keep it polished and as brightly as we can, because it's important to this city, important to everyone who walks in it and who lives here.
Okay, now we're going to move into the special category of awards. I'm going to present the Elva Rouse Award. And the Elva Rouse Award is given in recognition of an individual's efforts and beautification efforts, all sorts of work throughout the city. Phil Stager's retired Coast Guard officer who moved to St. Petersburg from Cleveland, Ohio some 25 years ago. Shortly after moving to St. Petersburg, he got hit by the palm bug, or bit, which initiated his continuing interest in both palms and cycads, and later many other tropical plants. He became active in the Maximum Moorings Neighborhood Association and wrote and managed 6 neighborhood grant projects for the beautification of the Maximum Mooring neighborhood. In 2000, he joined the City Beautification Commission and immediately wondered why Gizella Kopsick Palm Arboretum had not been expanded into all that empty space in Elva Rouse Park. Shortly after, he was elected as chair of the CBC. Working with neighborhood associations, local condominium residents, other palm enthusiasts on CBC, and with the assistance of landscape architect Phil Graham, he developed a workable plan for the expansion of Gizella Kopsick. He obtained funding for it from a city Weeki Wachee fund. The project was completed on time and within budget and was dedicated in May 1, 2004 by Mayor Baker. He also obtained a Florida Department of Agriculture grant to develop an audiovisual program with statewide applicability on the proper selection, installation, care, pruning, fertilization, and maintenance of palms in Florida. After leaving the CBC on December 31st, 2008 due to term limits, he has remained active in the selection and installation of new palms and cycads for the Arboretum and in the ongoing maintenance of the Arboretum. In a separate but related endeavor, he has also developed award-winning phyletic exhibits on both coconut palms and bamboo. His current project is to persuade City Council to fund the acquisition of the Dr. U.A. Young Cycad Collection in Tampa, the largest and finest private cycad collection in Florida, for installation at the Gizella Kopsick Palm Arboretum and Sunken Gardens. For his ongoing significant contributions to the beautification of St. Petersburg, we are glad to present this year's Elva Rouse Award to Bill Steger.
Thank you. The other award was for an individual's work to beautify the city. The Peggy Allen Award is named after a woman who was a charter member of the City Beautiful Commission, and she was a 30-year volunteer and had a significant impact, one woman, on the whole city and the whole City Beautiful Commission. So this award goes to a group that does significant work towards beautifying the city. And I understand there's quite a contingent here of support, but one person will be coming up to recognize and receive the Peggy Allen Award. This year goes to the Sustainable Urban Agricultural Coalition, sometimes referred to as the Urban Ag. And for the longest time, I thought they were saying the Urban Egg, but it's Ag for agriculture. And this group, the Sustainable Urban Agricultural Coalition, also SUAC, is a volunteer organization with numerous individuals from the area who have been facilitating gardens and methods for growing and distributing fruits and vegetables, and to affordably provide greater access to healthy, locally grown food. The group was organized as kind of a baby in 2011 with the support of Chris Steinacher and the St. Pete Chamber of Commerce through a generous donation from Bon Secours Healthy Communities Initiative. It is now associated with Tampa Bay Living Green, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Working groups within SUAC have facilitated the creation of numerous gardens throughout St. Petersburg, providing resources, training, and volunteers. And Bill Bellato, I hope I said that name right, is coming up to accept the award, the Peggy Allen Award.
I just wanted to take a moment to recognize some of the other board members of the Sustainable Urban Ag Coalition here in St. Petersburg. They're here tonight. So would you stand, please, if you're a board member of SUAC? Diane Friel, Emmanuel Roux. Emmanuel also operates a community garden down in southeast neighborhood, a Driftwood neighborhood. Ray Wunderlich has started a wonderful community garden down in Pioneer Village in Boyd Hill Nature Preserve. And let's see, thank you. And we have Carol Smith, who is our public relations person, Carol Smith. And Aubrey here, Hanford, who has started a number of hydroponic gardens around the city, and we'll be seeing more of Aubrey. Thank you very much.
The environmental awards are kind of for the unsung heroes. They're to recognize conservation, bring awareness to environmental practices, and they're for people that do it year in and year out and don't get recognized. So the first I'd like to bring up Shirley O'Sullivan. And Shirley is a multi-generation St. Petersburgian. She currently resides in Mirror Lake condominiums. And she has a special appreciation of Mirror Lake because for those of us who work downtown, several years ago we saw that it really had deteriorated. And Shirley did something about it. She didn't do something about it 1 year. She did something about it 10 years in a row. And she has started a whole new awareness of, I guess they call it these water buffaloes or whatever, that collect the trash that goes into and she's had volunteers come in, clean up it. and bringing awareness. She's also involved with the 828 Alliance, the Coliseum, the Chess Club, the Shuffleboard Courts, and you can see her advocating at city council meetings with people like Councilman Dudley there for things she believes in. And anybody who knows Shirley O'Sullivan knows that she doesn't do anything halfway. She's a committed person to this community, and congratulations on your award.
I just wanted to say that, needless to say, we don't do this alone. There's a gentleman here by the name of Brian Wilder, and he and his partners from the Mirror Lake Lyceum have been extremely instrumental in helping us do the cleanup every year. And Brian, could you stand up, please? Thank you. Also, we could not do it without the help of our great city, Stormwater, our Parks Department. Everyone has gotten involved. We started out with 7 people, and we immediately realized we needed a boat. So I went before City Council, and luckily Ernest Williams was our councilman, and he said, well, what do you need? So we immediately got trucks and boats and all kinds of great stuff, and it's just grown. Now we average between, I'd say, about 60 to 100 people each January. We do this an annual event once a year.
Our next recipient is Ray Wunderlich. I went to high school with Ray, so I've known him for a long time, and he has just been ubiquitous in conservation projects throughout the city, whether it was fighting the Frisbee golf at Maximo Park or the restoration of the Indian Mound. For those of you who don't live in South St. Pete, which is the best kept secret in the city, we have a real live Indian Mound down there, and Ray is the one who helped restore it. He's done a lot of restoration at Maximo Park and the other parks on Pinellas Point. He's always been involved in these projects with Boyd Hill, trying to preserve what made St. Petersburg special. So congratulations, Ray, for a lifetime of contributions to our city.
Thank you very much for this great honor. It's very, very much appreciated. And probably the number one partner is the City of St. Petersburg Parks and Recreation Department. You have vision, it makes sense, and they will support you and toward your vision. And we need to keep expanding and educating our public about our very rare environmental and green spaces. And every chance we can, we need to preserve them and increase the biodiversity that is so important, that is being lost now. If we have incursions into these, such as townhomes that are proposed at Boyd Hill, we need to take a very, very strong look at those townhomes. And are they in the best interest for the intrinsic value of what makes St. Petersburg special? And that is Boyd Hill Preserve and Park. We need to really, really watch out and prevent these townhomes from occurring. Thank you very much.
I'm going to take this moment as we end the program to thank our sponsors. Again, the Ray Biscoglio Duo, the City of St. Petersburg, also for providing us this wonderful venue, Sunken Gardens, for us to use to bring all you great winners here to celebrate. Total Wine for the wine. St. Pete Ale House also for the wine. The Faith House Permaculture Garden, the table decorations on the table. You're free to take them with you. Angela Strain, and as always, the St. Petersburg Women's Chamber of Commerce. This does conclude our program tonight. Thank you and congratulations to each and every one of you.